Hello everyone and welcome to the Switch into Plan B podcast. I'm Jumbo.
And I'm Robin.
And in this one, we are going to do a quick review of the final testing at Bahrain and do some season predictions.
Tires are okay for Plan B.
Alright, so we've had the final 3 days of testing of Test 2, technically.
Yeah.
Or Big Shakedown 2, maybe that's what we'll call it. Although this was an official test, so I don't know what I'm on about. Some interesting things to come out of it. McLaren looked very good after Test 1.
Yeah.
And seemed to struggle quite a lot.
They've got a lot of work to do. But at the same time, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Whatever they're testing. But the car didn't seem as stable. Their brakes
were catching fire a lot.
Yeah.
Or not catching fire. That was Williams.
No, they were just not working.
Yeah, and also the other thing I think they would have struggled with is Ricciardo missed all 3 days.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it turned out to be COVID-19 for him. So he should be back for the Grand Prix next weekend. But that's a lot of data that he's missed out on and just time in the car.
Yeah.
And even then, Lando didn't get as much time as I think he wanted to. So I think, McLaren definitely are on the back foot a little bit compared to where they were with Barcelona.
Yeah.
Ferrari looked, again, amazing. That car just looks so smooth. When you see the onboards, it just looks good.
Yeah.
Like it looks nice and it just seems to go well. Reliable, very reliable.
They don't seem to have had many problems.
Now they have a bit of the bouncing, porpoising, whatever.
Yeah, but all teams have that.
Yeah, some teams seem to do better than the others. But yeah, I think they look very good. Red Bull looked very good on the final day, actually.
Yeah.
They've been very quiet, not really sort of shouting about or anything. And then he brought some upgrades and it just seemed much better. Like both drivers were very happy, a lot of smiling, which tends to be a giveaway in testing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other big news is that Mercedes are claiming they're rubbish.
Well, you haven't talked about Mercedes' new car.
Oh yeah, we haven't got any side pods.
Yeah. I thought that was the starting point.
I totally forgot that because that was, 3 days ago now. So
Yeah.
It just totally blew my mind that, that's old news. But yeah, they literally have no side pods.
No side pods.
Yeah.
And struggling.
I'm not sure how much I believe the struggling thing though.
Yeah, they do this every year, don't they? They pretend that they're not very good. Or they aren't very good, but suss out what everyone else is doing and then somehow improve massively for the first couple of races. So, because last year they were the same. They were saying testing, they weren't very good, and then Lewis starts the year by winning.
And I saw there was a quote from 2017 saying, oh yeah, we won't be winning for wins. And 2017 was one of their most dominant years. So it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Obviously with the new regs coming in, it's difficult. That car doesn't look that happy on track though.
Doesn't look as stable.
No.
It's very bouncing about.
Yeah. They seem to definitely be struggling with the porpoising.
Yeah. But even like when Lewis is turning the car and it just seems like he's having to do a lot of steering.
Yeah, he's working the wheel hard
Yeah.
just to keep it. Where compared that to like the Ferrari, that just seemed like two totally different cars. One that seems very much ready to be racing and one
Yeah.
that seems like, they've still got quite a bit of development to do.
Yeah, exactly.
They definitely looked to be struggling more than some other teams are. One team that I was quite surprised by was Alpine. I'd almost written them off.
Right.
But actually, the onboards, they looked quite similar to the Ferrari. It looked with Ocon at the wheel anyway. I didn't see too much of Alonso at the wheel, but with Ocon driving, that seemed very much stable, especially when it was in the pink car. I don't know if the pink car's different to the blue car, but the pink one looked much more stable for some reason. So maybe Mercedes need to paint their car pink and get rid of the porpoising. Maybe that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Alfa Romeo had a slightly better testing as well.
Yeah. With Bottas.
Bottas got quite a few
Yeah.
laps in this time. I didn't see much of Zhou Guanyu is how he wants to be pronounced apparently, not Guan Yu Zhou. So we need to remember that going forward. He seemed to do all right. I haven't heard anything bad, if that makes sense. I think that's always good with a rookie.
Yeah.
If you're not hearing bad things, then I think we're okay.
No. There was no crashing or spinning.
I don't think we actually had a big shunt at all.
No.
think the worst thing I saw was Nicholas Latifi's brakes on fire.
I know, yeah, that was quite bad. It looked like something exploded.
Yeah, it did look like something exploded, but they played that down quite a lot. It's just, the brakes weren't calibrated properly or something like that. So and
it was just a mistake. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it seemed fine afterwards. And actually that Williams seems okay. They had some red Flow-Vis paint instead of the green Flow-Vis paint, quite a tongue twister, which I thought was just different. It's the only sort of notable thing I can really think about with Williams. They had
I think Red Bull had the red as well as the green.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they may have done because they're looking at two different things. And actually, now you say it, I think the Mercedes had like a pastel blue as well.
Right.
So I always thought it was always green. So now we're going to chuck in different colours as well.
Mm. One thing that I did also notice, I don't remember if last testing in Barcelona, it was like that. But the Mercedes liveries, you've got Hamilton has a lime green colour, and Russell has blue. Yeah.
They didn't. Because
they didn't have that before, did they?
No, I must have missed it when Lewis signed up to Lando Norris's esports team Quadrant, because it's very similar sort of green to that. And it's very strange because it's like, you would assume that he would be purple because he's been purple the previous year. So it's random that he's just gone, I'm going to go like Lando's green almost. It's just a bit random. Like I can kind of understand Russell's...
But his helmet design is pretty similar.
Yeah, very similar, yeah.
So...
I just don't know where that's come from.
Where the green comes from, I don't know.
And I know he's...
It looks good though, because it stands out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it really goes with the rest of the livery, to be honest.
I don't think it looks bad though, because the livery's quite... Well, there is quite a bit going on, but this on the silver it's fine. Haas are the other big news that we've got to talk about.
Yeah.
K-Mag has returned.
K-Mag is back, yeah.
Oh, I think it's good. I think everyone's quite pleased to see him back.
Yeah.
I think he's got some unfinished business.
Yeah, it was quite sad the way that they had to leave.
Both of them, yeah.
And we did kind of think, well, it would have been better if they had kept one of them and have a rookie, because that kind of dynamic works better than two rookies trying to help develop a car. They're not going to know very much. So I think Haas are going to be much better this year.
And that car actually looks quite good, to be honest. I think they all need to do developing. I think Ferrari seems to be the only one that seems to be pretty much race ready, in my opinion.
But it's whether they then have the pace compared to what the others do.
Yeah, and also they've got a new livery. Obviously, no tyres at all with the previous company.
Yeah.
Which
has to, and it looks quite good.
I think it's the way how they've done their livery, in my opinion, should be what McLaren should have done. So the white being orange, the red on the Haas being the blue.
Yeah.
And then that would kind of work as a livery. Very simple, but you get your point across. And I feel like where these cars are quite crazy in design at the moment, a simple livery, you don't need it to be a crazy livery. The bodywork does all the talking at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I thought that was quite good. Who we missed out? Aston Martin. It's a very, very quiet testing.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought I had them tipped possibly as being a bit of a dark horse, possibly going to be getting close to that front group. But I really don't know where they are. I haven't seen too much of them at all. Really.
No. Well, the thing is, they're not standing out from being good and they're not standing out for being bad. So they're kind of just in the middle, keeping quiet, doing their testing. So it could be that they end up doing quite well and they're further ahead than we think.
Maybe. We don't know. And all the designs are so different. And like Red Bull had some upgrades that again made the car perform differently and all of that. So, maybe all these teams are literally just one upgrade away from being right at the front. We don't know.
Yeah.
From my opinion, though, I think that there is definitely Ferrari and Red Bull are definitely up there. And I would say Mercedes are there, possibly McLaren as a top 4. And then I think the other 6 are really close.
Yeah.
So I don't think we used to have like the top 3 or the top 2 and then the midfield and then the bottom 3. I think that's kind of gone. I think that there's definitely almost like two groups, and the gap between those 2 groups actually might be quite close as well.
Yeah, which will make things more exciting.
Yeah, and also the stuff coming from the feedback coming from the drivers that they can seem to follow, and the cars don't overheat being close together. So actually, if the tires work and they can push the tires, the cars don't get hot following another car. They can actually stay there and they can actually follow them. We might actually get some decent proper decent wheel-to-wheel action.
Yeah.
So
better overtaking and all stuff like that. Yeah.
Obviously, it is testing, and we've literally just flown through every team very briefly because we don't really know what the data is. We're not actually there. The one thing I will say is that Mercedes are definitely sandbagging, because there was one bit where a Ferrari's doing 316 kilometers down the straight, and then Russell came down and he was doing 288 kilometers. So that's 30 kilometers difference in speed.
Yeah.
So if that's not sandbagging, I don't know what is, because Mercedes definitely haven't cranked up their engine at all.
They're leaving their spicy engine for later.
Yeah, like they're definitely leaving performance on the table. So, we will definitely, I think Mercedes will be up there. I can't see them not being it. They're just chatting rubbish as they always do. Yeah, so that was pretty much testing.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to season predictions, which I still think are going to be really difficult this year because we literally have no idea.
No.
And people have been asking me on streams and in comments all the time, what do you think, Jumbo? And I've gone, I literally have no idea. So we may review these at the season break and see how badly wrong we are. But yeah, we'll give it a go. So to start off with, World Champion Drivers title. Who do you think?
I don't even know. Because I don't know, I'm just going to go with what I would like to see.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
Ferrari's looking really good.
Yeah.
And I think he's got it in him. So.
Do you know what? I've kind of had a similar thought myself.
Did you?
I think that Ferrari, when I've seen it, it looks so good on board. And I think Leclerc is actually going to be faster than Sainz. But I'm going to go with Sainz to actually win it, because I think Sainz will do like an Alonso and just be there constantly picking up big points.
Yeah.
Like twos. I think he probably will get a couple of race wins and stuff, but I think he will just be there picking up points where Leclerc might get in a bit of a fight where someone gets some damage, or, he might have reliability issues, although that Ferrari does look quite reliable. But
it is Ferrari though.
I just think, that they may try and switch to plan B and it goes really wrong.
No. Engine just doesn't work.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Sainz. I just think that Ferrari will start off very strong and the other teams will catch up to them as the season goes on. Mm-hmm. And they might not be the best at the end, but I just think that Sainz will just be there picking up big points, and it will just rack up to him edging a title over, I don't know, Hamilton or Verstappen or Russell or maybe even Leclerc as well. Like I just think, or even Norris. I generally think that loads of people could be up there, but I just think Sainz has got something about him.
Yeah.
Got a bit of experience. He was class last year. Just a bit of a dark horse. I'm just going to go with Sainz as well, I think. All right then. So, constructors.
I would say Mercedes.
You think Mercedes will come back?
Yeah, because they always do this, don't they? Oh, I mean, always. Recently, anyhow. Because you've got Russell and Lewis Hamilton. They're going to be consistently up there.
Yeah. There's no way Mercedes aren't going to be up there.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with, Mercedes.
Even if it's the first 4 races, they're not there. They will crank it up, because this is Mercedes. Like once they start finding out the problems, and that car last year wasn't great, but they got it to a point at the end of the season where they were comfortably winning every race.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go with Mercedes. I just want it to be different. I did want to go Ferrari, but like I said, I think other teams will catch up with them. So do you know what? I'm going to throw a curveball out there. I'm going to say McLaren.
Oh, that would be nice.
I just think their drivers, they're both very good drivers. And I just think that if Ricciardo can get on it, and I think Ricciardo will have a better season, and Lando will just keep going, I think it'll be really tight between the 4 of them, but I just think they might just edge it on like the last weekend, the last Grand Prix. That
would be exciting.
They might just nick it.
I like those kinds of weekends.
Yeah.
The last weekend having lots of fighting to do.
But everything going to the last weekend is always much better, I think.
Yeah.
I just think with the regulations and everything seems to be a bit tighter, and it could sway a lot this year. I just think...
Yeah. Because there could be a lot of failures.
Yeah.
And things like that, or,
Yeah, and I don't really like that McLaren livery, but I think...
No, I don't like it.
I think they could nick it.
Yeah.
All right, so the total other end of the scale. Who do you think is going to be last in the driver's title?
That feels like it's mean. I'm going to go with Mick.
Mick Schumacher?
Yeah, he's in a Haas. And
you don't think Haas is going to do much better?
I don't know. It's just my brain going to what things are currently like. I have no idea what next year is going to be like.
This one's quite tricky.
And, with knowing Haas being a small company compared to the others. And they don't necessarily have as much R&D as the rest of the teams.
Yeah, they don't do a lot in-house.
No.
So I don't think they fully understand their car sometimes.
Yeah, so it's like if there's some problems, they might not be able to fix it. Maybe in the long term, Haas will be doing a lot better, but I'm not sure the first year of regulation change, they will be doing that well. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Just to add to that, I think that Gene Haas has kind of said he's not going to put money into the team if he wasn't going to get money out. And now with the new structure in with the salary cap and more teams being more competitive, Haas could jump back up again because he's probably thinking, there's more chance of me actually getting something out of this again.
Yeah.
So I think F1 is much more of I've totally forgotten the word, like a desirable thing to do now. It's worthwhile putting some money in because you could actually get more money out for him. It's like an attractive proposition. That's what I was trying to find a word for. Attractive. So you're going Mick.
The only reason I'm not going, obviously, because Kevin is more experienced.
He's had a year out, though.
I know he's had a year out, but he's still been driving.
Yeah.
And he knows Haas as a team. I reckon he'll probably... I'm not saying that they're not going to score points, but I'm just assuming that...
The other reason why I'm quite surprised you said Mick is that he tends to do very well. He's in his second season. When he gets to a formula, his second season seems to be a lot stronger.
Right. Just takes him a little while to...
Yeah, sometimes it does.
A bit like Ricardo with McLaren.
Yeah,
it's going to be
hope
much better
so,
this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be what he's like. He takes a little while he's a bit slower to start with, and then he start cranking up. So maybe if history's to repeat itself, he may do better this year, but we don't know. I really think this one's really hard, and I'm literally just going to say it's going to be Zhou Guanyu just because he's a rookie.
Yeah. And for Alfa Romeo, who...
Yeah,
we don't, they've had quite a lot of problems.
Yeah, Barcelona was a hard test for them.
Yeah.
And... yeah, I don't know. I just think that he may struggle getting up to speed. Also, like a totally new car as well, like totally different. Like he's not only going up to a formula. I know he's done F1 testing days and stuff like that, but the rigorous of like getting into F1 and then
it's also
having
the pressure.
Yeah. And also he's the first Chinese driver on the grid. So like there's a massive amount of pressure coming from like the home fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He'll get a lot of support, but there will be a lot of pressure as well coming
the first
from it.
ever?
So, that's got a full-time seat, I believe, yeah.
Wow. Because I know that you've said that there's a lot of backing from China. Like there's a big fan base.
There's a massive fan base in China.
I would have assumed that they've had drivers before.
Yeah, no, I don't think they have. I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure he's the first.
Oh, okay.
First driver. I may have that wrong. If I am, let me know in the comments. But no, I think I've got that right. But yeah, I'm going to go with Zhou, I think, just because...
it makes sense, yeah.
It's not a nice one to give, but I just think...
No, I feel like it's a bit mean.
I just think...
And I like Mick, but...
It's the experience side of stuff, I think. Okay, so then the other side of that as well is last in constructors. Again, I think this is going to be really hard to pick this year.
Yeah. See, just following from what I said about Mick being last, and I kind of feel like that's similarly it'll be Haas last, because I feel like Williams has been doing better. It could be Alfa Romeo, but I'm just going to go with Haas.
Oh, I'm going to go with Alfa Romeo. I think they may struggle.
Yeah. They've got Bottas though, so I think Bottas might be able to get some points.
I think, but I don't know. The thing I worry about with Bottas is he's not an aggressive driver, and I think that this year we'll see the aggressive drivers do better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The ones that can get past will get past, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a new Bottas, I don't know, but I just think he's going to struggle more. I think Magnussen's a much more aggressive driver than
I agree with that.
Bottas. So I think Magnussen, if he's got an opportunity, he's going to do it. I mean, Magnussen's testing, the first session he was out, I was watching it, he was wringing the neck off that car, trying to find a limit straight away, like no build-up. Literally just dived head first into it. And I thought, wow, blimey, like he's really going for that.
Yeah.
Which was quite impressive. So yeah, I'm going to go Alfa Romeo after all that just gibberish. But yeah, Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Okay, so will there be any new race winners for you?
Yes.
Who are they?
Lando's
going to get one.
Yeah. I'd like that anyway, because he's come close a couple of times. Russell.
Yep.
Because we saw what he did in 2020
in
that Mercedes, so Yeah. Has Carlos won a race?
No.
He has not.
No.
So Carlos as well.
Carlos to win as well. Well, that's just 3 new race winners. Is there anyone else that you want to go with?
Okay, no, I think they're the only ones.
Do you think 3 new race winners?
Because Leclerc's won, hasn't he?
Yeah, Leclerc's one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Would I add anyone to that? I'm trying to think in my head if there's anyone that I think might be able to get their first win. I'd like to see Albon do it, but I just...
In a Williams. Ooh.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they'll be midfield, but I'm not sure.
But it's a bit like, like the Hungary race last year. If something goes wrong, I think Albon will be better than Latifi, in my opinion. So maybe Albon could do it. Mm-hmm. Do I want to take a risk on that? Is he more likely to win it than Stroll in an Aston, though? I don't know.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Because you also have to think it's not just the car, it's also the driver. And for some weird reason, I think Albon is a better driver than Stroll.
But I also feel like Stroll's due a win, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like Stroll, I don't know, there's something about me that I think Stroll this year, he might just nick it. I'm going to add Stroll to that list, I think.
Okay. Just thinking, do we think Yuki?
Or get a race win? I don't know. I was going to say, that was our next topic, was...
Because Pierre said that in Ted's Notebook, I think it was Ted's Notebook that we were watching, that he doesn't think that they'll be in the running for championship. But...
They might be able to pick
they're
up a
trying
win.
to be 5th in the constructors for next year. Obviously, then fighting Alpine, who got it last year. But that might be all shaken up anyway. But he's supposedly going to be better this year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Most improved drivers. That was the next thing.
Oh, right. Okay. So I got ahead.
Yeah.
Most improved.
To answer your question, I don't think Yuki will get a win.
No.
But I think...
Maybe podium.
I think he'll get a podium.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Because, cutting you up, he is going to be my most improved driver. I just think that he came in thinking this was going to be a doddle. And I think he kind of then realised, this is going to be a bit more tricky than I thought. And I think we started, towards the end of the season, we started to see a better, more with it Yuki. And I think he'll just grow on that. And I think for me, he's going to be most improved driver for me.
I don't know, because a lot of the drivers are already so good.
Yeah, but there's some people that had a difficult season yesterday, but last season.
I want to say maybe Ricciardo, because of his season last year. I mean, he got a win, but...
It's tough, though, wasn't it?
It was really tough. He had some really lows.
He had some shocking results. There was a couple of 16s in there.
Yeah, being overlapped by your teammate and things like that. Like, I think he really struggled getting used to the McLaren. I think by the end of the season, he probably is now understanding how to drive it better. So I think he'll do really well this year.
So you think Ricciardo and Yuki? Well, I could see that. And then
based on last year, obviously, because Ricciardo's been better than
he
is.
But I can understand that. So from this year, most improved from...
Yeah.
But yeah, the last thing is the one thing that will be a big surprise this season.
So I'm gonna go there and say that Mercedes aren't sandbagging.
You think Mercedes
they're actually not that good, and that's why they're not going to win?
I mean, that would be a surprise.
That would be a surprise because no one believes that they're not good.
I also love how that goes against your constructors' title winners, though.
Oh yeah.
Or I guess either way, you've kind of secured it. They're either going to be rubbish or they're going to win the title.
Aren't we neither of the topics? No, but my thinking is that, as you said, they might not be good for like the first 5 races or the first half, and then they'll run away with it. Yeah. Their drivers are good enough to overcompensate for the car being rubbish.
Okay.
I reckon.
I'm going to really put this out there, and I'm going to say it's going to be super tight this year.
Yeah.
And every single team is going to get at least one podium.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That would make it so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that. Like, that means we'd have at least different 10 people on the podium.
Yeah. It would be so nice just not see Red Bull and Mercedes every weekend.
And then maybe throw in a McLaren or a Ferrari.
I know,
as well. Just like, it would be good. I think I'm being a bit optimistic with that, but new regs, no one knows. The cars are so blooming different from each other that
I know,
we've got no idea.
Another one, by the end of the season, they'll all look the same.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they will. We might get to like halfway point and they'll be like, oh, right, that design having no side pods is amazing. We're all going to do it, and they're all like Mercedes or whatever. We're going to have Baby Bells, Ferrari side pods or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So then that leads us to the only thing we've got left to do in this episode is predict the first race of the season, which is next week. I can't wait. So we have set up a fantasy F1 league. It's in the description if you want to join the Switch into Plan B league. Shall we go through who we've picked?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Okay. So.
'Cause I'm interested to see what you did.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well,
I've just picked random.
I've kind of put, I thought in my head that Ferrari looks really good. So I've kind of gone heavily with Ferrari here.
Okay.
So I've gone with my first driver being Leclerc.
Okay.
And he is also my turbo driver, which means they get 2 times 2 points, I think.
Yeah.
So that was my first pick.
Do you want me to go with my first pick?
Yeah, you can go with your one.
So mine's Carlos. Because he's going to be the champion this year. And I've also used him as being my turbo driver.
So Turbo Carlos. Funny enough, I've gone with Mr. Science as my second driver as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think just, Ferrari I think going to do well. So I'll put both of them in to start with the season. That may change going into next week, the race afterwards, sorry. But yeah, no, Carlos is number 2 for me.
My second one is Norris.
Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But if they get on top of that brake issue, I think they could be up there maybe. It's just whether the only thing I worry about is that where we're testing, they've been so heavily focused on one problem, the brakes, that I'm like, have they got other problems that they haven't even known they've got yet?
Yeah.
That's my only worry with McLaren at the beginning of the season. Driver 3 for me, Mr. Gasly. That's who I've gone for.
That's my number 3 too.
So we're quite similar at the moment. 4, this is where I've gone a little bit interesting. I've gone with experience. So I've gone for Aston Martin's Vettel. That's my 4th.
I've gone with Russell.
You've gone with Russell. Wow, your team's going to be expensive.
It is expensive. I used up nearly all my money.
I was like, oh my gosh. All right, so you've gone with Russell. That's a great shout as well.
Yeah.
And then my 5th driver is Alonso. I've gone with more experience.
Mine's Leclerc.
Oh my gosh. How have you got any money?
I don't. So I had to settle for Aston Martin as my as my team because I used up all my money.
Then I spent the money on Ferrari because I'm banking them early on that they're going to do well.
I wanted Ferrari as well, so I was trying to see who I should swap. And I didn't want to swap any of the drivers, so I just went Aston Martin in the end.
I was tempted to put Yuki in because he's quite cheap.
Yeah.
But my thinking is, I don't know.
I was thinking Kevin Magnussen as well because I reckon he'll
really
do a
cheap.
lot better than he is priced at.
Yeah, because he's priced at Mazepin's price. Because obviously they don't want people that have already made their teams to then have to do it all again. But I was like, that's really cheap for Magnussen.
That is
in my
really
opinion.
cheap.
I was tempted to put Yuki in, but I just think Gasly is still going to be better than Yuki. So I just went with Yuki over. Sorry, I went with Gasly over Yuki. But yeah, if you want to join the Fantasy League, we will leave it in the description. We've only set up so there's 1 team in it per person because I feel like 3 teams is a bit too much. It gets confusing. But if you want to join it, you can join it. But leading on from that, who do you think will win the first race? Because we haven't done we've got to do predictions for the first race as well.
Let's go with Leclerc.
That is who I'm going to go with as well. I think, in my opinion, I just think Leclerc has a little bit more pace than Sainz. I can see Leclerc putting it on pole. Yeah. And then I think Leclerc will just run away from it from there.
They'll get a 1-2 Ferrari.
Yeah, or Verstappen might split the Ferraris or something like that.
Oh, yeah, true. Verstappen is still really good.
And that Red Bull did look quite quick as well. But I just think Leclerc will drive away with it in race 1, I think.
Yeah. I think we're being silly. It's going to be Hamilton.
It's going to be Mercedes, yeah.
But,
I know.
But wishful thinking. We can hope.
And then, was it biggest loser we have as well? Who's going to do pretty bad? That's normally what we do in these predictions, isn't it?
Yeah. We say normally what we normally do outside of the podcast because we've not really done
we haven't done this for the podcast yet, have we? So biggest loser of the weekend. Oh, it's more tricky than you think, isn't it? Because we don't really know. But I've just got a feeling, and I saw him wearing the tightest T-shirt in the world.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking Ocon.
That shirt though was seriously tight.
It was really tight.
Like it's like someone shrink wrapped him.
Yeah. He didn't seem like he was happy about it either.
No, he's just got to wear it because that's what the sponsors were on about. But yeah, I don't know. It was super tight. I just got a feeling he might just struggle a little bit. I just think he'll go into turn one. I think he might qualify okay, but he'll go into turn one and get spun around by someone, and he'll just struggle from there, I think. So I'm going to go with Ocon. I think it's going to struggle. I've just got a feeling. I don't know why.
Okay. I'm going to go with Perez.
Checo.
Yeah, bless him.
Why did you say that? You just got a feeling, or?
I don't know. It's the one that I normally say. When I don't know, I normally go, Perez is going to have a bad weekend. Because every now and then he does. He's not consistent enough. Or last year he wasn't consistent enough.
But again, that you're getting into a new team, maybe he's a bit more settled. Obviously, new rules and stuff. A different way the car works. He's very good in a race situation. I mean, he could do if that Red Bull's up there. If Verstappen, there is a chance that Verstappen...
Yeah, but a loser isn't coming last.
No.
A loser is not doing what you were expected. And let's say Verstappen comes P2 and Perez comes like P8, that is losing, isn't it?
I guess like you're right. Like Verstappen was putting it on pole in some races and Checo didn't get through to Q3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe you're right with that. Because we've got to remember, like, Red Bull and Verstappen and Mercedes and Hamilton, like, are we forgetting last season? Like, these guys are class. Like, they could literally just dominate again this year.
I reckon they will, but I'm kind of hoping that they won't.
Agreed. I just think I'm a bit fed up of Mercedes and Red Bull at the moment. Like, you know.
They just took over the whole of F1 last year, and I think we need a break from that whole drama.
And
we normally do a surprise.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then surprise, the biggest surprise of the weekend.
So here is where I'm going to go. Williams are going to get to Q3.
Williams going to get to Q3 with who? Both of them? Or?
Do I have to be specific? Normally I would have said Russell. Let's go with Albon.
You think Albon? Interesting.
No offense, Latifi.
No, but I think Latifi's got a big year for me. He
does have big years.
No, a big year.
Oh, right, sorry.
I wasn't being that mean about him. You just went full in and had to go at his ears. You're going to have a go at his nose as well. Ted had to go at his nose as well.
Did he?
He's like, yeah, you had to get a special face mask made because he's got a big nose.
Yeah.
He's out of order. I really like Latifi. I think he's got a big year because this is year 3 now. And I think if he doesn't start performing, I think, they might go and look, are we going to get someone else in?
Is he not a paid driver though?
Yeah, but do they need that much money anymore with, the investment from Dalton Ventures and stuff? I don't know.
I thought you were going to say Dorito.
It does look like Doritos went on the side of the car.
Yeah.
Anyway, my biggest surprise, I'm going to go with, and I said he was going to come last, but I think the rookie, Zhou Guanyu, I think he's going to nick a point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think he'll nick a point. I think he will just have a really calm race, and then he'll pick up a point, and then I think he won't be able to match that for the rest of the season. I just think that he's going to start off, he's going to burst onto the scene, and then he'll just sort of fizzle out.
That was a bit like Yuki last year.
A bit like Yuki, yeah, I think so.
But Yuki was more testing. He did well in testing, and then...
He did well in the race. I think he got like 9th in Bahrain last year, I think.
To be honest, I don't remember. We watched Drive to Survive, and I still don't really remember half the stuff that happened last year.
And if you want to see the Drive to Survive or want to hear the Drive to Survive episode, we do a review of it.
Will come out later this week.
It's later this week, yeah. I'm hoping it'll be like tomorrow if you're listening to this on Tuesday, or possibly Thursday.
Yeah.
But there is an extra episode coming out this week because we didn't do one last week. Apologies for that. But that's because we knew we were going to get 2 out this week. So we have got another episode coming out this week.
Or you can see it as a bonus episode.
A bonus podcast.
To get you excited for the new season.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Don't think we've missed anything. Anything major? We probably have missed something major. As always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. If not, anywhere else you listen to podcasts like Spotify and all that. Or if you're listening on YouTube, we're happy for you to listen on YouTube as well.
If you're listening on YouTube, write a comment.
Yeah. Even
Let
if
us know you're there.
Yeah. Robin deals with the comments on there, so she'll get back to you. All right, so have a good week, everyone. And don't forget to watch the Grand Prix next weekend. And we'll be back with our first race review next week. Take care, everyone.
See ya.
Tires are okay for Plan B.